Alright, this video is for the honors class and for anyone else in the regular classes that wants to give themselves a little bit of a challenge with a little bit of a harder problem in the sense of not the process itself, but just the numbers not being nice integers. So we're going to see how that works. So let's go ahead and get started with example number 3. So we're going to go ahead and, first of all, if we want to complete the square, we have to get rid of that 2 in front of the x squared. So we're going to go ahead and divide by 2 on all terms. So divide by 2. Now the only thing is, make sure you either write it out, or if you're going to just do it in your head and skip the step in red, that you do not make a mistake. So we get x squared. Now 5 over 2 does not divide nicely. I'm going to leave everything as a fraction as opposed to decimals. It's actually a lot easier to complete the square that way. So I divided by 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and move that 9 to the other side in order to allow me to complete the square. And I'm leaving my blanks. Now when I move the positive 9 from left to right, it becomes a negative 9. So again, I'll write the steps in red, which are optional. Minus 9, here it is. Alright, so now that we've taken care of that, we're going to go ahead and complete the square. So again, 5 halves, what's half of 5 halves? And then we're going to square it. Again, since it's a fraction and we're dividing a fraction with another number, it gets a little tricky, so I'll do it on the side here. I'll do it both ways with the x and the other way. So 5 halves divided by 2. Since it's already a fraction, you're pretty much dividing the 5 halves by 2, which means you're just taking the denominator and multiplying it by 2. So what I mean by that is, let's say we have 5 halves and we're dividing by 2. So this is already a division. So we're dividing by 2. So we put a times here in the middle. So it's really 5 over 4, and then we're squaring that, which is going to be 25 over 4. So that's the number that's going to complete the square here. I'm sorry, not 4. 16. 25 over 16. Now if you're doing it with the x, you have 5 over 2. Again, and you end up with 5 over 4 because 2 times 2 is 4. So you're dividing on something that's already been divided by 2, which means divide by 4. And that gives you 25 over 16. And this is a number that completes the square here. So we're going to go ahead and now factor this. Again, I can use my shortcut because that's an invisible 1 right there. So I'm going to square it here. Now I have x minus, or plus I should say. No, actually I forgot my negatives here. This is negative, that's negative, that's negative. Minus. So let me just fix that. Put those negatives back on there. Sorry, I forgot the negative that was here earlier. We're going to have 5 over 4. And we're going to go ahead and add those terms on the right. Now, because they're fractions, I have to go back and remember how to add, subtract fractions. We have plenty of space on the right, so we're going to do the work here. I'm going to take negative 9. I'm going to go ahead and add it with, let me do here in orange, negative 9. I'm going to add it with 25 over 16. Again, I'm going to get common denominators. I'm going to use 16, make that a 1. Leave the fraction on the left, on the right the same. So I'm going to multiply 9 times 16. We get 144. So what I just did was I multiplied the bottom of the fraction by 16 and the top of the fraction by 16. Just to get an equivalent fraction to what I just had. Then I can go ahead and add or combine the 144 with the 25. So 144 minus 25 gives me 119 over 16, and that's negative. Again, these problems get messy when you do end up with those fractions. So negative 119 over 16. So again, same process, it's just the fractions kind of make it a little ugly, but other than that, it still works out. It should work out, and it always will work out. So now we're going to go ahead and keep solving this. We're going to square root both sides. Don't forget the plus minus. And let's go ahead and simplify that. X minus 5 over 4. Right side we have positive negative, the square root of 119. I'm going to actually simplify the denominator because the square root of 16 on the bottom is actually just a 4. So that works out nicely. At least it simplifies a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my x and get it by itself. 5/4 is negative on the left. I'm going to move it to the right. It's going to become a positive 5/4 plus or minus the square root of 119 all over 4. And I can just rewrite this as one giant fraction with a denominator of 4 since both of them have the same denominator. And we're going to write 5 plus or minus the square root of 119, which is my final answer. I didn't simplify 119 because it's prime, and I'm pretty much done. So this is the gist of it. Now this is a reason why we like having this third method, which is a quadratic formula, because of problems like this, especially when things divide and you get uneven numbers. That's why we're going to be using this third method, and you'll actually like it when we get to it. All right, you guys, go ahead and start the practice.